The suspense is killing me. No, it really is. No, just kidding. It's not really. React Suspense is this really cool thing. It actually is already available. We already used it in the React Performance Workshop, where we used a React Suspense component and a fallback for lazily loaded code. However, there's this new thing that I'm really excited about, called React Suspense for data fetching and concurrent mode. You put those two things together and you have just this amazing declarative API for data loading and any asynchrony. It's awesome, but it's not ready yet. And so what we're about to experience is kind of going through the jungle with our machete or whatever. It is uncharted territory, but it is kind of fun. So if you're into that, then look forward to this. Let's dive in here in our React Suspense workshop. So the workshop repo is just React Suspense. We come down here and you'll notice this giant warning. I'm telling you, this stuff is experimental, and actually there's already been changes in React Master that impact some of these videos, but they haven't released that stuff yet, so I can't update the videos. But that's where we're at. Things are changing at a rapid pace, and so just keep that in mind. Now, I have updated some of the documentation in like the background and stuff to tell you what things have changed, and I'll try to keep that up to date as things do change, but just keep that in mind. This is super experimental stuff. Things will change, and so if you're not into that, you can go ahead and skip this one. But if you want to see what this is all about, then totally give this a look. And definitely don't miss Dan Abramov's talk way back in 2018, where he talks about some of the cool things that concurrent mode is going to enable, because we're going to be leveraging some of those cool things. So this is going to be a good time. Let's grab this code and we'll run the update or run the setup script and all of that, and then we'll get it locally here. Once you have it locally, you can get it running. There are a couple of unique things here. We have some examples. You'll definitely want to look at those. In particular, we'll be looking at fetch approaches here. You'll want to take a look at that. Open up the dev tools and take a look. Also, we have enabling concurrent mode, which you might find interesting. And it really is quite simple. Here's the old way. Here's the new way. That's how you enable concurrent mode. I've even got a blog post about it you can take a look at. And then preloading images. That's one thing that a lot of people had a little bit of a struggle understanding what this is all about. So you'll want to spend a little bit of time in this little example. And don't worry, I'll show you when you want to dive into that to get an idea of what this is doing. And I even show you what it's doing myself. So you'll want to play around with that a little bit. We also have this suspense list thing, which is a whole app to show you how to use suspense list in a kind of a typical scenario where you might want to marshal the way that loading states are handled. But the cool thing about suspense is that it gives us a really declarative way to handle asynchrony, and it also is all about performance. It is a real performance booster as well. So that's something else that I'm really excited about with React Suspense. So there are also some things that you learn in this workshop that you can apply to your code today, like fetch, or with these fetch approaches, you have fetch on render, fetch then render, and then render as you fetch, which is an approach that is kind of popularized by Suspense with data fetching, but you actually don't need Suspense to be able to do this. So I'm looking forward to showing you that as well. So anyway, let's take a look at what we've got in here. So we have simple data fetching. All of these are going to be using this Pokemon form that you've been used to. And actually, the simple data fetching is going to really blow your mind, because this is going to show you the absolutely 100%. This is the fundamental idea behind how the Suspense API works today. You're not going to write your code this way, but this is how it works, and how your abstractions are going to work, assuming they don't just change everything on us, which, no guarantees on any of that. But yeah, then we're going to talk about render as you fetch, making abstractions for some of this stuff, use transition, and caching resources, creating a special component so that images can suspend. And we've got some cool extra credits here to help you avoid waterfall and render as you fetch on that as well. So that one's pretty cool. And then suspense with a custom hook. This is where things really get interesting, because the use or the value of learning suspense right now is so that when it's released, you have a good mindset for what suspense is all about, and you can be the one to build the amazing abstraction that everybody uses. That's what's cool about this. So I imagine that most of us are going to be using Suspense through other libraries, and maybe you're going to be the one to build the library that we all use. That'd be cool. And then we're also going to talk about coordinating Suspense components with Suspense List, so we can see how these different things load in and make sure that they all load in the way that they're supposed to. So I'm excited about that. I hope you're excited about that. Look forward to going through this jungle of experimental stuff with me, and I'll see you on the other side of it.